So, Lyn, I just want to kind of get to this thing because a lot of the words that you've been using here are words like ecstatic, bliss, sensual pleasure, our erotic nature, So when, in our everyday culture, those words they appear to me like very high states of ecstasy and bliss, and also that they're very kind of sexualized in a way. And I know that you use them differently. So I'd really like you to speak to that a little bit.
Often these experiences are much more at the gross level. Uh, and that's what most people, when they use these terms, sensuality or sexuality, they're usually focusing on something that is happening at a very gross level. The difference with this practice is it starts out as a meditation practice. It slows things way down, and there brings much more mindfulness to this and much more subtlety to these, so that the energies are the same, actually. They're just not, they're coming, you're contacting them at a much subtler level instead of like physically acting out something. It's something that is happening within your body, and you're noticing your reaction to it, but from a meditative state.
Which is very
It's
different.
very different.
Very
Very,
different, yeah.
and also there's the aspect of not having an agenda, that's a practice. I mean, it's not easy to act without an agenda, but we when we bring intention into this practice, we're much more likely to be able to drop into that subtler level and notice these sensations without either grasping at them or pushing them away.
Yeah. So what I really hear that's very different here is that and a really good way to convey this is that it's incredibly slow. It's incredibly subtle, and you're slowing it down so that you can watch these subtler levels and connect to very subtle states of that kind of bliss, or that sort of very subtle energy that is our natural state, our ecstatic state. But the way that we use that word, it implies a kind of gross level. So it's kind of like not a re-education, but we're using that word very differently. And also just kind of in terms of conveying this practice, the movement is so slow, isn't it? Like the kind of like the touch and the movement is so slow, so that you can stay aware and so that you can connect to this subtle level in mindfulness. And the experience there, that's it. That's so profound there. And it's so hard to convey that because we usually don't have an experience to reference that to.
Yeah, yeah, and it actually it expands and deepens the pleasure that we're able to experience when we move away from the gross a little bit, and as we deepen that connection with ourselves, it will come back in normal lovemaking too, but it adds another dimension to normal lovemaking when we
Yeah.
cultivate that ability within ourselves.
Yeah. So it's not.